rest of the agenda today. Our next speaker is Mr. Adam Naseer. He'll be speaking on leadership growth and gratitude, key to transformation. Adam is a general manager of leadership and organization development at MACL. He believes he's a teacher at heart. His passion is to help individuals and companies achieve results through practical and result-oriented training and coaching. Please welcome onto the stage Mr. Adam Naseer. Adam.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. I'm very glad to join you all in this afternoon. It's a wonderful day, and day is going to an end. I'm sure you have learned a lot from the rest of the speakers who spoke before me about organization and about leadership. And now I wanted to change the subject a little bit to your personal leadership. And we are talking about leadership growth and gratitude. And before I begin, I would like to thank MAHRP for giving me this opportunity, and also want to thank you all for being here. So why don't we give a big round of applause to the MAHRP for arranging this wonderful event. Thank you. I would like to begin my talk with a question. Yeah. The question is, recently we had a turtle in Mali, yeah? And then the question is, how does the hatching turtle find its way to sea? Do you want to make any guess? GPS, it has a GPS. Yeah, it has a GPS, of course. Yeah, there are many ways it finds its way, and I think the most effective. Sorry, natural instinct, yes, very good. Light, yeah. Give her a round of applause, please. Yeah, it's light, mostly light. But there are other cues, like downward slope, the sound of the wave, and all that is there. But you know, if you look at how the hatching turtles look like now, this is how it sees now. And the journey is something very strange, because this is a one-way journey. There's no detour. It can't say, sorry, wrong way, and take the turn, no. If it heads to the endward, it has to go the endward, and then, you know, it will go until something comes and crush it, or someone comes and picks it. So it's a very serious journey. Now, do you think there are some similarities for our life as well in this way? Yeah, very much, yeah. So the question is, are we sure we are going to get to our destiny? If not, we are doomed. It's a very serious topic, actually. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to talk about this. Before I start explaining this, I'll tell you, ever since I became a student of leadership, I have a fascination to understand leadership from spiritual perspective. Right? So I'm going to share with you. By the way, finding this way is very, very serious thing for. Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's a very serious thing for us, because every day, about 17 times, more than 17 times, all Muslims will ask their Creator to show them the right path. So that's something we do every day, more than 17 times. So it's a serious question, isn't it? Do you agree? Yes. Can I hear yes? Yes. Yeah, of course, it is. Yeah. So ever since I became a student of leadership, I got a fascination to understand this from spiritual perspective. So today I'm going to share with you a response framework to face the challenges and changes of life. That's what everybody has spoken today about. And also I will talk about the most critical element of leadership and why growth matters. Okay, let's see if I can do it within 30 minutes. Yeah. So today, the content I'm going to share with you is based on a model that I developed based on these 5 prophets. They're one of the most mentioned prophets in the Quran, but I don't think I will be able to say anything about all of them, but I will be talking about specifically Prophet Ibrahim and Prophet Musa. One lesson we can draw from both of them. Okay? Well, in the Quran, it says, you know, in their stories, in the stories of these messengers, there are lessons for men of understanding. My wish and prayer is that maybe you all benefit from this. Change can happen. Change is Ahmad Ibrahim told change is a constant. Yeah, that's very true. Everything else is changing except change. And even Quran says that we are always in a state of constant change from one stage to another. But how are we responding to change? And it can be correct from 2 different ways. Correct from within or without. My question is, if it is a change correct from within, what does it mean? Our life is coming out, a growth, yeah? But if it is a correct outside, Someone is making an omelette, yeah? Yeah. No, we don't have a choice about change, but we have a choice about how we respond to change. Are we going to allow the change to make an omelette out of us, or are we going to emerge as a new growth? So how many of you want to emerge as a new growth? Say aye. Yeah. Can raise your hands and say aye loudly? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. So in the story of Moses, what happened was when Moses went to Madian, from Madian to Egypt, on his way back, he sees at night some fire at a mountain. So he goes there. And then God spoke to him. And God commissioned as a messenger to Israelis. And when he was commissioned as a messenger, he asked some things from God, a prayer. This is very famous among Moordians as a prayer for improving our learning. But I tell you one thing, this is not a prayer for improving our learning ability. But this is a prayer for every big thing. If you have any challenge, anything tough, anything difficult, yes, this is of use. But what is more fascinating to me as a student of leadership is the content of this prayer, what he was asking. If you translate it to leadership context, we know this is all about facing challenges, responding to change. So he was basically asking God these things. For any change, it's very important that you know these elements, personal conviction, courage, and a compass, which means a strategy to do that, and your ability to communicate, as well as you need to have a core team to do that because no greater thing can be done alone. Okay, so a core team and a commitment to do that. But that's not it. This is what Moses asked in the beginning, and God gave it. But later on, we read in the Quran, God also gave something else to him, 3 strategies that he would need as a person, as a leader, to go through this tough time and to bring about the change. So I'm going to talk about the 3 keys, okay? And let's begin with the first one. God made an appointment with Moses for 40 days, and there he gave the Torah. And after giving Torah, God told Moses, "Oh, Moses, I have chosen you over other people by my message." And the status that was given to him. So be among the grateful. So gratitude was the first thing that God told Moses in his big task. So do you think gratitude matters for us? Yes. It does, yeah? But how much does it matter? What is gratitude? Now, can you turn to your partner, one next to you, and tell your definition of gratitude to your partner, please? Just share. What do you think gratitude is? All right. Anybody has a fascinating view to share with the audience? Yeah? Anybody has a fascinating view to share with the audience? What is gratitude? Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you very much. Give her a big hand of applause, please. Gratitude has to do with everything, including the challenges, yeah, and the difficulties. We have to be grateful for that too. Yeah, that's a wonderful understanding. Very true. Yeah, let's define this, because this is also quite poorly defined. For us to be grateful, there are 2 very important things we have to know about the things that we are grateful for: the giver and the gift. Yeah? So without knowing both of these, because each one is going to influence the other, it depends on who gives the gift, gives the value of the gift. If it is given by a very important person, of course you will value it. But if it is given by a stranger who you don't know, maybe it's not of that use. Yeah? So the giver is important. One of the most fascinating stories that I can see in history about gratitude is that of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. He was born to a society where people were idol worshippers. And he valued his life, and he knew that this thing doesn't appeal to his intellect. So he wanted to know the truth. So he started searching for the truth, because for him, life is valuable. Yeah? And when he searched for the truth, he came across many things. Ibrahim wondered about the creation. He looked at the cosmos, he looked at everyone around us, and he looked at the creation, and he was trying to make some sense. And he learned a lot. I'm going to share with you the kind of stuff he learned, but I don't know exactly what he saw. But the kind of stuff he saw was this. He saw that everything was created by a single source. Okay? And he also knew he didn't only create, but he also guided it. Yeah? So he created, and he guided the creation. And not only that, he also provided for the creation. Now look at this, is a very fascinating thing. The marlin is hungry, and it's coming to hunt. And then, when it's trying to pursue its selfish act of satisfying hunger, there is also someone else above it. Birds trying to hunt too. Now the question is, if the bird is to give thanks, does it have to thank the marlin? No. Why? Because marlin didn't know even the bird exists. Yeah. So, yeah, it has to actually thank the intelligent system behind this. This is not accident. This is no accident that all of this came together to the same spot at the same time. This is a careful design and intelligent system. And he also knew that he didn't only provide, but also protected through feelings of love, and relationship. That's how the intelligent design of protecting the creation. The motherly love, that's how God protects us, how God protects the baby, through the motherly love. And not only that, he also knew there is this very unusual occurrence, there is life emerging from dead. Okay? So now he learned something. It made sense to him what life is all about. So he goes to his people and says, now, those idols that you worship beside God is actually an enemy to me, and I have believed in the Lord of the worlds. There's one source, and he defined it as he who created me has also shown me the way. And he also gives me eat and to drink, and when I'm sick, he heals me too. Wow. And he said, he caused me to die, and then will give me life, like how the trees emerge from the dead land. And he said, I hope forgiveness on that day. So that is the Abrahamic concept of God, actually. It's very simple. Yeah? So from that sense, gratitude actually has a lot deeper meaning. Yeah? To be grateful, Ahmad said about doing agility and being agile. So the similar thing goes with gratitude. So to be grateful, to live a grateful life, there are 5 conditions that we have to meet. Sorry. Yeah. It's taken from the acronym Shukra. The first thing is H, stand for Hamd. You must acknowledge, accept, and appreciate the gift that you have got. And you stand for understand the purpose and the who gave it. And K is to consume, because you also can consume the gift that is given to you without excess, but optimize your gift. And R is to remember the giver of life, always, as long as you are living. But at the same time, the most important thing of gratitude is S, that is sharing your gift with other people on equitable terms. But at the same time, you also have to do something selflessly for the sake of God. Don't confuse these two. Your business and your act of generosity should be different, okay? That the thing that you selflessly do for other people should be done for God's sake. But whatever business you do for other person's sake. That will be clear. So this is what I mean gratitude in Abrahamic sense. Being grateful, living a grateful life. So Prophet Moses, what happened to him was he saved his people from Pharaoh, and then we hear from history that he made them cross through a land that God made in a miraculous way through sea, and then he led them to a desert. Now when they were at the desert, Moses had to give them a speech, a khutbah. And this was given in the Quran. It says he went to his people and he says, oh, my people, my God has told me to publicly declare you, to openly tell you that anybody who gives thanks, I will increase them, whatever they are grateful for. So there's a tough question here. Now look at this. Put yourself into the situation. Now these are Israelites who have suffered a lot, slavery and indignity, suffering. Their male childs are being murdered. Okay, they have been killed. So they have lived a tough life quite. And now they are saved anyway, but now they were in the desert. And what is ahead of them? Nothing. They don't have even shelter. There's no water to drink, no food to eat. Now there's impending death if there's anything for them. Now at this point, Moses was coming and asking them to be grateful. My question is, what are they what is there for them to be grateful for? Okay, now they are saved from slavery. But at that point, some of the Israelites have told Moses very clearly, oh, Moses, the slavery where we are being fed is better than the freedom of hunger. They already have told him. It was at that point Moses was asking them to be grateful. Now, do you have anything to say about this? What are they? What is there anything that they have to be grateful for? They are in a very pathetic situation even now. To be alive? Yeah, we have to be grateful for alive. Yeah, being alive. Yeah, that's true. But there are very two important lessons we can learn from this verse. The first lesson is if there's anything that Israelites have to be grateful for at that point, we have much more to be grateful for. Do you agree with? Yes. Can I hear a big yes? Yes. Yeah, so be grateful. Second thing is gratitude has nothing to do with your status and your stuff and your possession. It has everything to do with how you see the world. Now let me prove this to you. Say yes if you have experienced this. Have you seen people who are sick, very sick, yet very grateful? Say yes. Yes. Yeah. Have you seen people who are very strong but ungrateful? Yes. Yeah. Have you seen very poor people who have almost nothing but very grateful? Yes. Have you seen very rich people, billionaires and multi-billionaires, who are not grateful? Yes. Yeah, so this means it's very clear it has nothing to do with your possession and your status. Yeah? So gratitude has everything to do with a mental model. It's a mental frame, how you see things. Agree? Yes. Oh, that's a very low agree. Do you agree? Yes. Yeah, okay, thank you very much, yes. Now, this is a very difficult thing, actually. Why it's difficult is, if you have heard the Islamic story of the creation of man, we know from the day Adam was created and the devil was outcasted, the devil made a request to God. Devil said, oh God, grant me respite. And God granted respite. And when the respite was granted, devil challenged God, saying, oh God, just because you let me go astray, I will sit on your straight path. And I'll come from behind them and from front of them and from their left and from their right. And by then you will see only very few of your slaves being grateful. So that's the challenge as an individual for me, for you, and as a challenge as a species for whole humanity. To remain remain grateful is the challenge. Yeah? So what does that mean from front and behind and left and right? Front means giving hopes, your future aspirations and hope. Behind means your past regrets and mistakes. From right means all the good things, being very holy and that kind of stuff. And being left is the funny stuff, the cool stuff. Okay? So all of these ways, it's going to try to tempt us. And then he said, by then, when I'm done with these all approaches, only very few people can only remain grateful. Yeah? We read in the Bible, there was one day, Prophet Jesus healed 10 lepers who are born lepers. If you are a leper, those days people who suffer from leprosy were actually isolated. They live in the outskirts. They can't come in contact with normal people. So he healed 10 of them. And on his way, he saw only one person waiting to give thanks. So that's so much for gratitude. That's what our true status are. Okay. Now, I will tell you why gratitude is so difficult. Okay? I will give you only 3 reasons. Reason 1 is this. Now, what color do you see? Yeah. Okay. Now, I see very intelligent people here. You know what the trick I'm trying to make, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Mostly the time when I ask this question, it's the red. Firstly, it's the red. Okay. Now, I'm sure this audience is different. Okay. But all other times, everybody says white. No, red. And they forgot that the larger color is actually white. That's the reason 1. We are always focused on what is the most pressing and tempting things, the loudest, the noisiest, the brightest stuff. Okay? So we forgot to keep our focus on the good stuff. When your toe gets damaged, guess what hits everywhere? Your toe. Because you don't feel, when the rest of the body touches any surface, yeah? There was a fish farmer, who was having a farmhouse near a pond, and then he said, I couldn't sleep at night because there were a million frogs shouting at night. So he was deprived of sleep. He thought, I must make some advantage of this situation. So he went to a local restaurant and he said, I can supply you frog. And he said, how much? I said, 1 million frog. And he said, okay, well, let's make a contract. And the next day, come with a sample frog to sign the contract. So when he wanted to go to sign the contract, he went to the pond and he saw only 2 frogs. And he thought, this can't be the truth. So he waited for the next night when it started crying and shouting. And at that time, he went and still he saw only 2. Okay. Now, the point for you, the good news for you is, those who backbite you and talk behind you, maybe it's just 2 of them, so don't worry about them much. Yeah. This is the second reason why we cannot be grateful. I think many of you have heard this story. How many of you heard the story of crow? The happy crow in the jungle. Yeah, a few hands. Okay, I will tell the story. This crow was very happy, and it was happy until it saw the swan. And when it saw the swan, the crow lost its happiness because swan is spotless, white. So it goes to swan and says, "Swan, you are so beautiful. You must be the happiest bird in the jungle." And the swan says, "No way. I was happy until I saw the parrot. Go and ask parrot because it's multicolored, more beautiful." So crow went to the parrot and then actually saw the parrot and was amazed by the beauty of the parrot. And he says, "No doubt you must be the happiest bird in the jungle." And the parrot says, "I'm sorry, crow. I was happy, but not anymore. I was happy until I saw the peacock. Go and meet peacock. It must be the happiest bird." So the crow tries to find a peacock. Where do you think the crow finds the peacock? Any guess? Zoo, yeah. Give a clap, please. Yeah, it was at the zoo. And when the crow went to the zoo, and he went to the peacock cage, the crow was actually mesmerized to see the beauty of this bird. It was so beautiful, and there are so many people around peacock taking selfies and complimenting peacock, and crow was meanly jealous, because now everybody is admiring. So crow waited, but crow actually couldn't have a word with the peacock until everybody is gone. So it waited until the zoo closes. And when everybody is gone, crow goes to the peacock and says, "Oh my God, you are the happiest and the luckiest and the most beautiful creation that God has ever created. I don't even want to ask you this question, whether you are happy or not. I have seen it, I have witnessed it, I have heard it." And so, crow, congratulations, you are very lucky, peacock. And when crow said that, peacock looked at the crow and says, What do you think I am? What benefit has my beauty given me? I am in a cage. I have gone around the whole zoo, and I saw you are the only one spared. There's no crow in the cage, so you must be the happiest and the luckiest bird in the whole world. True? Yeah. So what happened to the crow? Crow forgot the blessing the God has given to it by comparing itself with someone else. So the second reason why we cannot be grateful is when we start comparing with other people. Each of us have enough, more than enough to be grateful for. And everyone was uniquely gifted. So let's stop comparison business, because each of us are having a unique life, unique gifts, and fighting a unique battle. So don't make comparisons. Now I would like you to take a few minutes, just a minute, to feel the blessings in your life, okay? Because there are so many. Can you close your eyes and just feel the blessing of the things that you are grateful for? Yeah? All right. All right. Now, that was we always here talk about gratitude, just be grateful, be grateful. That was a very interesting study run by University of Southern California. They made 3 groups of people to write a gratitude journal for 10 weeks. The first group was to list 5 things that they're grateful about, like I'm grateful for my mother, my kid, my job, blah, blah, blah. So 5 things. The other people were taught to write 5 sentences about one thing they are grateful for. I'm grateful for my mother, she is so caring, she has looked after me, blah, 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 5 sentences. And then the third group was made to compare themselves with others. So these people had this gratitude journal written for 10 weeks, and then at the end of the 10 weeks, when they tested, there was one group that was very much elated, excited, alert, and less tired and less lethargic. Now, make a guess, which group do you think got the benefit? The first one, the second one, or the third one? Those who say first one, please raise your hands up. Okay. Those who say second one? Those who say third one? And those who can't raise their hand, please make your mind. yeah, thinking, fine. Well, who said second? Please raise your hand. Give them a big round of applause, please. So the lesson we can learn is this. When it comes to gratitude, the dividend is in the detail. Okay? It's not lip service. It's not just thank you. So from today onward, when you say thank you, you mean it. And when you mean it, you also show it, because it's deeper. The deeper, the better. Just not a thank you, not even looking at the person. Don't do that, okay? So when you say thank you, look at the person in the eye and then mean it, and then you show it through your emotion. That's how to thank. Yeah? Now I would like you to take 3 minutes, very quick, because I don't have time. Just think of someone who you are immensely grateful for, okay? Someone who is alive, a human being, who you are immensely grateful for. Just write a text to him or her saying how much you are grateful for. Try to write a text, please. Yeah? I'll give you 3 minutes, okay? Just write it. Then, but don't send it, okay? Just write it. Just it's writing. No need of sending. Write it. Okay? Just pour your heart out without any reservation. Say everything that you wanted to say. This is the lifetime opportunity, okay? This is a very serious exercise, by the way. Done? Okay, those who are done, please raise your hands up. Yeah? All right, others, make it very quick, because I don't have time, otherwise I would have given you. I know this is a very good one. Okay, 20 more seconds to you, okay? All right, now, the second part of the exercise is to send it to the intended person, okay? But don't send it now. At the count of 3, let's all of us try to send it together, okay? So that we can have a more gratitude vibe here in this room as well. Are you okay with that? So ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, please send. Yeah. How many are feeling happy now? Raise your hands up, please. Wow, everybody. This is the benefit of gratitude, you know. Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Yeah, the third thing, why we cannot be grateful is when we have a tough time. Okay, that's the hardest time to be grateful for. Yeah, but why we cannot be grateful during the tough time when the challenge is, you know, normally we fail to identify the blessings in our life. But let me tell you, there is also a purpose for challenges. Islamically speaking, challenges and trials and tribunals have very important purposes. One thing is expiation of sin. Okay, you have been forgiven because you suffer. And second thing is, normally the problems that we face in life is the things that happen because as a consequence of things that we did or we didn't do. So it's a time to correct. Okay, when we are doing okay, we don't understand. So when we face the challenge, only we realize, and it's time for us to think and then correct ourselves. The third one is to prepare for greater blessings. This is an interesting thing. You know, sometimes if you are given a greater blessing, you know, you can't bear it up. We heard recently there were two thieves in India. They stole a lot of money, and then the amount is so huge that one person was so happy he got a heart attack. Yeah, because he's not ready for a blessing. So that preparation is needed. Okay? How many of you have read Alchemist? The story of Alchemist. Yeah, exactly, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah? And the fourth, last one is the most important thing. That is, you know, by being patient during times of troubles, you know, your status is elevated in sight of God. And that's the biggest. Because we read in Islamic literature, you know, during the Day of Judgment, those who suffered and then endured patience are being rewarded so much, you know, others will wish if they had more troubles in life. They would wish for more. Yeah. So that is it. But you know, there was a very big reason why we suffer. God says, you know, everything that every good thing that we get or every bad thing that we have is given before it was brought into existence, it was written. It came from God for two reasons. Reason one is not to be proudful of the things that was given to you, and not to be miserable or dismayed by the thing that you lost. I repeat, it is not to exult in pride over what you have got, and not to be despair over what you have lost. Okay? I tell you why. Now we read, a lot of time now we know in Facebook also when you get your degree and masters, you say, I'm so proud of myself. It's okay to say that, but also acknowledge, you know, the Creator, because a lot of things that could have gone wrong didn't go wrong. And a lot had happened in your favor that was beyond your control. So acknowledge that the Master of the universe. And so what you have lost is also given by Him. So it was taken. And we read from the story of Moses that, the suffering has actually, the trials and tribunals and the thing that doesn't appeal to our psyche has, purposes. For example, it's normally for our protection. If we are allowed to go on that way, it would have been a bad thing for us, so it didn't happen for us. Normally for our own protection. And other one is for our betterment. The thing that we have lost will be replaced later on by something even better than that. So that's for your greater good again. And the last thing is for reward, because sometimes you come across people for a reason. It's God sent, So you do things that is not rewarded. Nobody even would appreciate, but God gives the reward for that. I tell you one thing. Oh, my time is up. Okay. So before that, I'll conclude. I'll give one story and I will conclude this. Okay. There was a sparrow flying on the winter, and it got cold. And then it couldn't fly, so it fell to the ground. And while it was laying on the ground, there came a cow and pooped on it. And what will happen to the bird now? It will feel a little warmer, isn't it? So it got warmer, and it got life back. And it was so happy, it started singing. And there came a cat, and it heard the sing of a bird, and looked everywhere, and no, it's coming from the poop. So it dug the poop and picked the bird, and immediately do what? Ate it, yes. So the moral of the story is, those who poop on us are not always our enemies. Okay? And those who take us out of the poop are neither friends. Yeah? And when you are in deep shit, keep your mouth shut up. That's the best way. Yeah? So, to conclude, like the turtle, we also have two ways. God says we have given you two ways, the way of gratitude or ingratitude. Okay? So I must say, be like water. Be like water because water has clarity. That is to know, understand the purpose. And water is agile. It takes the shape of any container you put in, so embrace the reality. And now you are living a grateful life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam, for the wonderful talk on gratitude.